They came without warning, without declaration, without mercy. Over the tranquil blue world of Vespera 9, humanity's farthest thriving colony, the sky ignited. Vast ships of onyx metal descended through the upper atmosphere, shedding plasma trails that lit the horizon like dawn's fire. The people of Vespera thought, for a fleeting moment, it might be a meteor shower, until the bombardment began. The Karzun, they called themselves, a predatory empire that spanned half a spiral arm. To them, humanity was new, soft, untested, a civilization that smiled too easily and spoke of diplomacy and treaties. To the Karzun warlords, that meant weakness. They struck without hesitation. Orbital mirrors turned seas into steam. Cities became molten glass. The planet's defense grid, designed for pirate raids and asteroid impacts, barely lasted an hour against their capital fleet. The colony's governor sent out a desperate plea for aid, her voice trembling but unbroken as the signal crackled toward Earth across the stars. Her final transmission was received. Half a scream, half a prayer. Before the Karzun flagship vaporized the planetary capital, the warlord commanding the assault, Vathor the Conqueror, recorded his victory and broadcast it across the galactic trade network. His message, translated and replayed 1 billion times, was simple and cruel. Humans build, we burn. Humans plead, we silence. Their ashes will mark our dominion. Billions of alien species saw it. So did Earth, and for a time, humanity said nothing. The silence that terrified weeks passed. The galactic networks waited. Surely Earth, the cradle of this proud new species, would answer. But no response came. The Karzun feasted. On their homeworld, Vathor's triumph was celebrated with the blood rites of conquest. They displayed the charred human banners in their war halls. Slaves from conquered worlds were forced to wear mock Earth uniforms, parading in chains while the warlords laughed. The lesser races whispered, perhaps humanity truly was fragile. Perhaps they lacked the fury to fight back. In the Interstellar Council, 1,000 diplomats argued over what the silence meant. Some believed the humans were negotiating behind closed doors. Others that they were cowering, rebuilding, or praying to gods who would not answer. The Karzun mocked them all. They began invading other human settlements, raising one colony after another, probing Earth's resolve, testing how far they could go before the humans broke. Each time, the transmissions were the same. Screams, fire, silence, and still Earth did not reply. But deep in the quiet dark of Sol, something stirred. Old shipyards, long dormant, flickered to life. Lunar foundries shifted their output. Mars orbitals went dark, their entire industrial grids vanishing from the network, as if swallowed by shadow. The Jovian colonies fell under complete communication lockdown. Some traders claimed to have seen massive objects, kilometers long, moving beneath Saturn's rings. Others said the asteroid belt had been sealed, guarded by automated fortresses that tore apart anything that came too close. Still, Earth said nothing. The Karzun mistook that silence for surrender, and that was their final mistake. The sky answered. It began without fanfare, a whisper across the stars, a coded pulse that rippled through every human frequency simultaneously. One word, now. Across the Sol system, 1,000 dormant command codes awakened. From lunar bunkers to Europa's icy caverns, fleets that had been hidden, built in secret for over a century, rose from their cradles. The Retribution Protocol, an ancient contingency written during humanity's earliest expansion, had been activated. Earth had never been idle. Every treaty signed, every diplomatic smile, every apparent restraint had been cover. A mask for the greatest military buildup in recorded galactic history. Humanity had learned from every war before them. Never again would they wait for permission to defend themselves. From beneath the dark seas of Titan, dreadnoughts surfaced, shedding methane ice like scales. From Mars's deep caverns came legions of mechanized infantry, loaded onto black transport carriers. The orbital rings around Earth opened like the petals of a mechanical flower, releasing warships that had never been seen. Each one bearing the names of lost colonies: Vespera's Wrath, Elysium's End, Archangel, and at their head, the flagship, ESS Nemesis, the largest warship humanity had ever built. A mobile fortress the size of a moon, its hull layered with plasma armor and lined with railguns capable of shattering continents. When Earth finally spoke, it was not with words, it was with thunder. The Great Retaliation. The Karzun border systems were the first to vanish. In the span of a single galactic day, their outer colonies ceased all communication. Scout fleets sent to investigate found nothing. No wreckage, no signals, no survivors. Just silence, and the faint distortion of gravity where planets used to be. Then came the human transmission, clear and cold. You demanded mercy. You shall receive none. Across the galaxy, systems flared like candles snuffed out. Human fleets advanced in perfect formation, their weapons precise and pitiless. Orbital bombardments erased entire Karzoon foundries in seconds. Planetary shields, thought impenetrable, were shattered by railgun salvos that burned through the crust. The Karzoon's proud capital fleets, veterans of 1,000 conquests, were annihilated before they could even fire. Humanity's AI-directed ships fought with unerring coordination. Every human vessel acted as a part of one colossal mind, a machine of vengeance with a singular purpose. The Karzoon warlords screamed into the void, demanding parley, negotiation, surrender. But humanity had passed the point of words. On Vartor Prime, the Karzoon homeworld, Vathor himself watched as the human armada filled his skies. The atmosphere burned red from re-entry trails. He sent one final broadcast. Humans, you have proven your strength. We yield. Spare our people and... His words were cut short as orbital kinetic strikes began. The human fleet did not answer him. The bombardment lasted 8 hours. When it ended, Vartor Prime was gone. Its oceans boiled, its continents vaporized, its core fractured into shards that drifted in a glowing ring around a dead sun. Every surviving Karzoon transmission carried the same haunting image. A world consumed in white fire, with the human fleet passing through the ashes in silence. The rest of their empire surrendered without a fight. Those who didn't ceased to exist. The judgment of Earth. The galaxy trembled. Species that once viewed humanity as naive now spoke their name in whispers. The Interstellar Council convened in panic, debating sanctions, treaties, pleas for restraint. But none dared confront the Terran Confederacy directly. Earth, for its part, remained eerily calm. No parades, no speeches, no gloating. The fleets returned to Sol, silent and uncelebrated. The black banners of vengeance were lowered. The factories went dark again. When alien envoys visited to beg for clemency for the remaining Karzoon refugees, Earth's reply was simple. They asked for war. They received it. Mercy is for those who understand it. The envoys left trembling. In the ruins of what was once Vartor Prime, a single transmission beacon remained active, broadcasting endlessly into the void. Here lies the price of arrogance. Here lies the mercy you demanded. No one dared to deactivate it. For centuries afterward, traders passing through the region reported seeing ghostly signals, echoes of the Karzoon fleet, forever looping their final distress calls. Some said they could hear human transmissions woven into the static, coordinates, warnings, or perhaps promises. The echo of vengeance decades past. Humanity returned to its quiet routines, rebuilding, exploring, expanding once more. They offered aid to neutral worlds, signed new treaties, and spoke of peace again. But the galaxy never forgot. In the council halls, the ambassadors of alien nations lowered their voices whenever Earth's representatives entered. Children on distant worlds were told stories at night, of how the humans once burned an empire to dust for daring to touch their kin. And deep in the dark archives of the Karzoon ruins, a message remained etched into an obsidian wall, left by one of the last human marines before withdrawal. We are not monsters, but we remember. Historians would later call it the silence doctrine, the belief that Earth's quiet is never peace, merely patience. 7. The last broadcast, 200 years after the fall of the Karzoon. A new species, young, ambitious, and reckless, began to rise. They studied the histories and laughed at the tales of human vengeance. No one could wield such power, they said. No one would dare. Their fleets began expanding toward the old war zones. One of their admirals, eager to make a name, destroyed a human research outpost near the galactic rim. A small one, barely 100 scientists. Hours later, the admiral's flagship intercepted an incoming signal. A voice, calm and clear, speaking ancient Terran standard. We received your message. Before the fleet could react, their sensors went white. Gravitational distortions bloomed across the system. Dozens, no, hundreds of Terran warships emerged from hyperspace, forming a dark wall across the stars. At their center, the ESS Nemesis, still active after centuries, its hull rebuilt 1,000 times, its engines burning with blue fury. The admiral, trembling, sent a desperate hail. We didn't know. Please, we surrender. The human reply was the same as before, the same words etched in memory across galaxies. The invaders demanded mercy, but received none from Earth. Moments later, the stars themselves seemed to fall. 8. The lesson written.